says like Brett and Danny and John, my mother's family was in the neighbors here. They lived in Old Linn Creek, and I heard a lot of stories about Old Linn Creek and things. So I thought I would do this presentation. Last year, I did a presentation as a lake history for the Missouri Report location down all the seasons. And I've done it twice. It's like a 40, 45-minute presentation. I'm not going to sit there that long. This is just a part of that. This involves Linn Creek and the formation of New Linn Creek and Camdenton. And so that's what this is all about. And you're going to see a bunch of pictures here that have no.
All right, let's try to get that share.
Do that.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, keep on going. Nope. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, go. Keep going, keep going. Okay, just in, this is off the topic. This man, this picture, any of you guys that have been involved in real estate or law in the area know this man's name. His name's Cyrus Cranwell. He was a developer, and he's the one that developed. He bought a lot of the land from Union Electric, and he developed Horseshoe Bend and Shawnee Bend and Oak Bend and various ones. So that's the picture of him. So let's keep going. Okay, this is the one I want to talk about. This is a picture of Old Linn Creek. And this is what I like about this picture, is because apparently it was one big street going down into the main street of town. On this one side where all those buildings are up on the hill, that you can get there from White Road. That's the schoolhouse, and as far as I know, that's still there. And then the part, let me show you. I think this clearing right here is the Old Linn Creek Cemetery. So all of that above that is still existing. Everything down below is underwater. Okay. Next one. Okay, and this is the toll bridge from Old Linn Creek, and it was from what is now Pier 31 Marina, and going over to and across the Osage River, going over to the Sunrise Beach area, what's now Sunrise Beach, and it connects at F Road.
Yeah, it's right by my house.
Yeah. I thought it would be. Yeah.
Road still goes, or is this a dead end? If you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it goes right down into the lake. And John wasn't your grandfather, what owner or what? He ran. Yeah.
You know, Larry, I have one of the original rate cards from the toll bridge.
Oh, really?
In my basement.
Wow.
It's the thick paper. It's still got the horse and sheep prices. And then on the back, they handwrote on the bills.
That's something. That's an old one.
It is. Of course, I don't have the update. I've got the old one.
Cost the horse.
It's like 30, it was 30 some cents to take all of them, or you paid so much to head up 30 some cents.
Wow. Okay, the next, that's the J.R. Wells. That was the steamboat that ran from Old Linn Creek over to Bagnell, Missouri, and this was a main source of getting out of Old Linn Creek. They would take animals and people to Bagnell, and then you get the branch line where it's the railroad to Jersey City. This is the beginning. This is the main street of Old Linn Creek. You got this picture of the man with the mules there, the Jennies, and just yet last week, Earl Cross put a thing about Mr. Clark and the Jennies. in the, apparently he was the first trash collector in Camden. So, another picture of Old Linn Creek, modern drugstore, the AJ Watts store. Okay, next one. Picture of First National Bank. First National, moved from Old Linn Creek up to present Linn Creek for about 1940s, I think. And then it was at 3 different locations in Camden. Keep going. Okay, now.
That's Dawn's grandmother walking on the sidewalk.
What's that? Okay.
Big Foster. Oh my.
How did you tell that?
Got the big.
Oh, did you?
That big picture sitting.
Really? Yeah, the town had 3 churches. There was a Baptist, Christian, and Methodist. Old Linn Creek, produced 3 congressmen and 1, Missouri governor, who was Joseph McClure. And from Ravelli, dated March 13th, 1931, J.W. Benson was the editor, was campaigning to have Lake Benton renamed as Lake Florida. But people continued to call it by its official name, like the Ozarks. Residents of Old Linn Creek were divided as whether they wanted to sell it. It's not. Now the Union Electric agreed to pay for the relocation of the courthouse, which I've got a picture of the courthouse here above here. The site was for the county's was up for grants. There was 2 groups that were vying for the site for the courthouse, which was New Linn Creek, which was first known as Easterville, which was located in the valley, and it was subdivided by W.O. Easter. And Camdenton, which was located 3 miles up the hill, was subdivided by Clint Webb and James Banner. Camdenton was selected to be the county seat, and the county. There was a temporary courthouse while this building was being built, and it's where the laundromat is behind Raft Insurance or Back Valley. That was the original courthouse. That was a temporary courthouse. Residents leaving Old Linn Creek moved to either New Linn Creek, Camdenton, Lebanon, or somewhere else. Those moving to New Linn Creek usually were associated with the First National Bank or the Methodist Church, and those moving to Camdenton were usually associated with Camden County Bank, the Christian Church, or Baptist churches. This is the church. This is the Methodist Church at Old Linn Creek. Notice the stained glass windows here. When the church was destroyed, they took those windows and brought them up to the and they're still up there. They were put in the Linn Creek Church now. There, you'll see that.
Elevation of that little church is amazing.
Yeah. And if you're going, that's a beautiful church. And then the next one is a picture of the Christian church at Old Linn Creek. And if you next slide, that is the Christian church, and it's got the same stained glass windows. And the Christian church sold it in the late 50s, and it's been various denominations. I think it's the Christian motorcycles.
Behind the butcher shop.
Right, butcher shop, right. That's
Christian motorcycle church.
Yeah.
That's the CMA, it's the Christian Motorcycle Association.
Oh,
The guy that owns butcher shop runs.
I thought Sandy motorcycles never have church.
That sounds like.
So what years are we talking?
1931.
And when was Camdenton, you said?
1931. Now,
Very much population.
between 400 and 500. Next one. Now, this was our office. That's why I put it all from self-promotion. This was our office. My family, my great grandfather started the business in 1887. My grandmother worked from 1909 until 1960. This is the original office at Old Linn Creek. And we were one of the last ones to move from Old Linn Creek to Camdenton because we didn't know where the courthouse was going to be. So we were glad when that was decided. And then the next, that was our office there. Okay, then there were several houses in Old Linn Creek that were built, had been moved. And several of them are still in present day Linn Creek. And now this one I think is the farmhouse. I think this is still there, but I'm not really sure. Okay, next one. This is what they call the Pope House. And it was moved from Old Linn Creek up to present day Linn Creek, and it's been torn down. It was where right behind what's now Woodland Seeds. This is kind of a interesting story. This is the George Moore House. It was in Old Linn Creek. He was a doctor, and they had this house moved from Camdenton from Old Linn Creek to Camden and moved. And this is the picture of them moving it. That's
Wow. Huh.
and I cannot imagine now if you Jenny and John will remember Highway 54 didn't go down from Walmart, didn't go down to Hill like that. Turn and went down around that hill alongside. In fact, you can see wintertime, you can still see the Highway 454 right off. It went around that hill and then down at the end of the hill, went across 64 into that street, but I can't imagine moving that building up that hill all the way up there. I did.
Well, you could have stopped the 6 cars of traffic, did that today,
Yeah,
that would hit national.
and I do have a picture. Now that was, that was first the attorney Barney Reed first bought that house. And it was right next door to where Janet was up. And then it was also the first funeral home in Camden. Maximum Forey Island. Yeah. And I've got a picture of that same house here. Apparently there was a snowstorm in April, and G.T. Richards put that in 1973, and it was, I think it was in 74. There was an auction, and they sold everything, and the house was sold. Fortunately, it was torn down. This is the backup. Yeah, this was the Earp House in 1909 at Old Linn Creek. This was another one that was down there that was moved out to Camdenton. There was like 4 houses, I believe, that were in Camdenton. And this is the last house that's still standing, yes. And Janie's sister used to live in this house. Okay, and that's the house. And it's on the, located at the corner of Camden and Illinois Street, here in Camden, across the head corner from Heritage Bank. And that's just, and then that's, most of us know who that is, as G.T. Richards. He was the dad of Rain Machines. And he was the founder of the Linn.
Yeah.
He was quite a character.
I run out of slides on that.
You are, and that's it.
Okay.
Now, I just wanted to show you a little bit, since I got a little bit of time. I brought some pictures that I brought here. I did have a copy of the Reveille, 1898. This whole thing is from the year 1898, and when I looked at it, I didn't realize it was from the during the Spanish-American War. There was a lot of things in there that said from what Spain was, like that. But on this first page here, there was one interesting article that I thought, well, maybe that's in this day and age it was known as tabloid reporting. The headlines from April 28, 1898 was a bloody honey. John Brockway, alias Harry Hogan, married John Benson on Saturday, and on Friday blows her mother's brains, shoots her sister through the heart.
Oh,
That's a
Wow.
Then within the story, it says, Mrs. Broadway and a half-witted sister was in custody, but subsequently discharged. There was also talk of lynching, but it is hoping that the feeling has subsided, and the law will be allowed to take its course. I thought that was quite it.
Sounds like a Facebook post.
Yeah, I know. So that's it, and you're welcome to come up and look at some of this stuff. And there's a picture of this rover in there. That's a flagpole. Yep. So that's it. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Larry,
Okay.
my family came from Iowa, and we've only been to the lakes 85. So we're good, right? But what was the business? What was the business generation of the lake?
Before it was, I think it was a war. Obviously, it was a farm.
It was hard. It was hard with the log things.
My mother said that when the lake went in, a lot of people were upset that the lake was coming. Or their livelihood all, everything would be changing. But her comment was, Linn Creek was just a little town. Everybody was very congenial and things like that, but it would have been prosperity. Life.
So you said there was like 400 residents in Linn Creek. And I don't know, how many are in Linn Creek now? Probably not that much.
I don't think so.
Like, there's that many now. Not in town, not city proper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
I will. That's what I think.
Go outside of that, it's like our address down. Down.
I just do, but I think that's what. We're across the road. But then all the houses that are, of course, you have to say, up on the hill.
Yeah, I think when we're talking, I'm talking about, I think we are talking about, 10%. And there's. I've got the look, I think it's in the.
Yeah.
Nice. But I think what the kill, and I think when I remember Linn Creek, was a completely separate town in Camden. Because. Okay, you know, it was a, the road was open, they had a grocery store, they had stores in there, they had a school. They had their own church, they had all those different, it was like a separate, cell. As opposed to. But because of the highway, like usual, the highway bypassing thing. It's makes it town die. Great.
How many businesses, Larry, are still active from Camdenton that came from? Do you have any idea?
Came from Old Linn Creek.
Our office. The bank was, First National was bought out by Star. Camden County Bank was bought out by Central Bank.
Or funeral home?
Funeral home, yes. I guess the Revelation. And I mean, that was in 1879. Follows. Any other questions? Okay.
Has Phil died, and I know that looks like more of a died in Old Linn Creek. Has anybody done any type of form of photography or something to kind of?
I don't do that, but I do a lot of astroturfing or advanced sonar, we have no facing sonar. You go into the Sylvan Bay area of Old Linn Creek, off the line road side. You can go back in, a long coat, goes to, long coat on the right hand side, you can still see steps, foundations, of old houses up there. And you can see them perfectly clear, that's how I can take a picture, it's a sonar, but you can see the foundation. Looking down,
really?
forward, you can see the steps rolling up. That's pretty neat.
Oh, I mean, buildings project, so on the street, absolutely amazing. It was, you know, if you want to try and save them, it all sorts of chance.
And it did relocate cemeteries too.
They did, yeah, all of those cemeteries were really around. And that was it.
Not very efficient. We're trying to, still trying to figure out who's buried in simple trade, we're across, since those, like Larry, they're still trying to figure out. Who's in those areas, there are a lot of things that match correctly, so. By a process of elimination, yeah. We're all got a process, he doesn't know, so.
Well, I think it's other, presentation, I think they said they located around 3,000 graves. The 2020 census said 260. 260, yeah.
So I'm curious about how Union Electric was able to put in dam and claim all the land that would be underwater. How did that?
Either it was by purchase. They bought it from the individual owners. Or it was, they got an easement. Property owners gave an easement to the lady. Or it was by.
I remember it was 3, 4, 5, 6 cents an acre.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the original documents I see, there's room for that. And a lot of the big deal with the floodplain a few years ago, Cameron stating that, they own property where the federal and things like that. Some of the original deeds say that you own to the center of the Osage River chain. Well, I mean, some of the Osage River chain, they were deep, and some of the lakes are really wide, especially in area. And so they kind of had to back off because a lot of their original purchases gave a certain elevation, some didn't, it's a dimension, which is, so. Some of it's pretty arbitrary, but it was pretty cheap.
it goes from, usually your comfort elevation either goes from either, I'm not sure if there's a question whether it's 660 or 662, all the way up to 670. It all depends on where you are on the lake. And everything above that comfort elevation is done by the private government. Everything below that is difficult.
Or easement.
Right, oh, right. So there's property down here at the bridge. It is, well, one side Normac stays, there was a big issue about that. Because the comfort elevation was like 668, which was way up in people's yards. And then, yeah, and then on the other side, down there where, Cedar Green, that one is, that was done by Eastman, but it all those properties go down to the, original lake, I mean, the, river bed. Yeah, and then they got these.
Said something a moment ago that really kind of makes me understand the phrase, and then it's something as a dog town, because the way it's always looking, we need on grants for revival lake and it's first anyone who's to do that's grants that they were you could claim something is blighted, and it was really most people. There used to be in the country. It's simple. So, yeah, I mean, so it just makes me very nervous when I hear that and I wanna make sure that there's a real delineation and I'm just around it on what you.
That's the better order.
Right, I know. That's what made us talk about grants that we were looking at was, it just became, I just have.
I don't get into any of that. You probably don't. I agree. It's not always fair. I know that. My grandparents lived in Wisconsin. They, my grandfather built his brother, where they wanted a big international harvest back. And it was very successful, and then they built the laundry, so it's my grandmother ran the laundry. They came in there and took it by him, Mr. Megan, I mean, back then. They didn't pay him probably $100 what it was, paid for the stretcher, not for the well visit. And there wasn't a relocation thing back in Antwerp, not much to speak of. So they ended up having to build a second one. By the way, so that the people follow. Yeah, it's just the way it comes through.
Do you remember my grandmother at the 11th was after that? I five the house was set on the side there after the 585 and a half, something like that. And it was not half, obviously. Swapped the cat up out. Obviously, you could not.
Well, they're developing that, actually, sit really close to the highway, because they bought, didn't actually, sell their house, and just sold their products, the little brick ones, but you put all the highway. Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.